on today's wrestling news, chaos at the Mysterio family Thanksgiving, an AEW star comments on the latest CM Punk controversy, Thunder Rosa talks being stripped of the AEW Women's Championship, and a controversial ex-AEW star signs a deal with Impact Wrestling. I'm Adam Wilborn.
I'm Michael Sidgwick.
And this is the news. Happy belated Thanksgiving to our American viewers, or if you're celebrating it anywhere around the world. But it won't be as good as Thanksgiving as went down in the Mysterio household last night. You probably have seen this doing the rounds on social media. One of the best online bits of content I think WWE have done, quite possibly ever. Because Dominik Mysterio took his mammy to meet his, mammy, and they gate crashed the Mysterio family Thanksgiving. And it concluded, Michael Sidgwick, with Dominik attacking his father's injured leg, smashing not only a family photo over it, but like a broom as well. This was sensational.
Look, you know me, not the biggest WWE guy in the world. This was not only big, dumb fun, right? It was actually a bit more intelligent than usual WWE angle and storytelling stuff. Like, there's little details here that I thought were beyond them, and they usually are on in the TV context. Like, the crack is that Dominik Mysterio and Mammy, Rhea Ripley, knock on the door. His mother's like, oh, come on, what are you doing here? Why is there a camera here?
Yeah.
Why is it that Angie Mysterio can ask that question and any one of these knackers can't? It's quite obvious that it's right in front of their face. So they excuse and explain the use of the invisible camera for once. And then when she motions for Ray to come in and sort this out, you can actually see him adjusting his mask as if he's just put it on, knowing that there's a camera there. Mm-hmm. So when I first watched it, I thought, pixelate his face. I know it's dumb wrestling joy, but pixelate his face. But they did something. They did something. And yeah, he just beat the crap out of his dad, and some of it looked vicious. And Rey Mysterio, even in this like really silly, big dumb fun context, sold it immaculately. Like Dominik Mysterio, he's emerging as such a cult favorite at WhatCulture Towers because he kind of knows he's a bit useless. Yeah. Just plays it up to perfection. This is absolutely great. There's one inadvertently stupid element of it, right? Dominik Mysterio is in his mid-20s, I believe. He's like 25.
Something like that.
And I love how he's essentially framed as this like 16-year-old tearaway who's got his first bird. And it's like,
that smoke I smell on your jacket, Dominik?
Like that kind of thing. It's like the man is in his mid-20s. He's an adult.
But this is, honestly, it's great. It was on WWE's Twitter if you want to go and check it out. I do like the bit, because Rey Mysterio does start effing and jeffing at Mammy, and that sort of sends Dominik over the edge.
Call her a bitch?
I think so.
We're only inferring that because he's telling him to get out. You too, bitch! But it's bleep. But
and then he's like, don't you say that about Mammy!
So we can infer, because it's bleep, that's the context of the situation, and every wrestler always says that word.
Yeah, it's a go-to thing in wrestling, isn't it? But do go and check that out today. More on Thanksgiving in a little while, but we should move on and talk about the AEW star commenting on the latest controversy with CM Punk and AEW. It was Sean Spears who has given his thoughts. He was talking to K&S WrestleFest during a virtual signing, and he said, it's sad, overall sad, that's what I think. I wish it didn't happen. That's the other thing too. I wasn't there. Most things do happen publicly, but I wasn't there, and I don't have any first-hand knowledge. Obviously, this has all been sort of brought up yet again, obviously, Sid, with what happened on Dynamite this week. Your thoughts on the latest situation?
I don't think CM Punk is going to come back, at least as a result of these teasers.
Yeah.
I just think that what's happened here is that the Elite knew they were entering hostile territory. They knew they were going to lose to create more scope and drama surrounding the Best of 7 series. So they thought, you know what? Let's get the crowd on side. Let's prevent any hijack. Let's establish a 0-2 loss that we can be babyface in another market and recover from it. And at the same time, we're going to get booed. Let's get more booed. Let's get booed in an extent that we can sort of like wrap it into the match and just, I'm not saying they did this out of the goodness of their hearts. You know what? CM Punk's fans have had a bit of a, bit of a tough time. Let's work a match and give them a little bit of a catharsis. Like, I'm not saying they did this out of the goodness of their hearts. I'm just saying that they are incredibly genius wrestling psychologists and knew exactly how to measure the pulse of the crowd. And yeah, I think everyone echoes Sean Spears' thoughts at this point. It was really fun, compelling, intriguing, we're all hounds who live for this backstage
Yeah.
gossip and all the rest of it. But when the dust settled and he realised, we're not going to get CM Punk and FTR versus the Elite out of this, which at this point I think is pro wrestling's preeminent dream match, then a little bit of, scrolling Twitter and getting a few wry laughs for a couple of hours on the week after All Out does not compare remotely to the idea of these guys settling their differences and making money and giving us the best match in all of wrestling right now.
Yeah, exactly.
That isn't Roman Reigns versus The Rock.
Yeah.
Because when they start talking trash to each other, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, exactly. And what was it, situational heels you were saying?
Situational heels they played in Chicago. And again, I'm not saying they did it out of the goodness of their hearts. I'm just saying they knew exactly how to get an earnest reaction, and they just reveled in it. They luxuriated in it. They controlled it. They effectively created it on being the Elite if it wasn't going to happen already. I thought it was a one-off. It's the best possible unironic version of Bizarro Land.
Yes.
That's how I would put
That's
it.
a good point, yeah. And we had a really interesting chat about it on our podcast, the Dynamite Review. WhatCulture Wrestling, wherever you get your podcasts from, but I agree. Why can't we all just get along, Sige? Another development from Dynamite, of course, was Thunder Rosa surrendering the AEW Women's Championship. Jamie Hayter now just proper AEW Women's Champion, not interim. And that also applies to Toni Storm's previous reign with that title. But Thunder Rosa's taken to Twitter to address what was gone on. She tweeted, thank you, #Thunder Army, for all the support, and AEW for being there for me. Dreamlike moments happened in this run, and this is not how I wanted to lose this championship, but you deserve a present champion. On to the next chapter. It was sort of a cloud hanging over the women's division, and I appreciate what Thunder Rosa has done here. Excited to see what Jamie Hayter does. I'm glad that they recognise that Toni Storm wasn't just interim, she effectively was women's champion. But yeah, we wish Thunder Rosa well in her recovery as well, of course, and can't wait to see her back in a ring.
Yeah, there's very little to add colour commentary to the statement itself. It was just a mature, reasonable, professional thing to do. But just on interim titles in general, I think Tony Khan has made a big mistake this year. It's kind of bitten him on the arse. And it's such a shame because I loved how clean and well thought out and sort of prestigious that lineage was, particularly for the men's AEW World title. Long reigns. Yeah. Everyone had a different sort of flavour in terms of how the champions sort of worked, defended, cut promos, how they embodied their interpretation of what a champion is. It was also clean, lovely, prestigious. Now the interim things ruined it. And now that it's established that it hasn't really worked out as a narrative device, principle, whatever, it's going to look weird if they don't stick to it. It just makes the whole thing messy. I didn't want it to be messy. But Thunder Rosa did a nice statement, and Jamie Hayter should be recognised as the women's champion. It just clarifies a lot of the doubt over whether she's legitimate or not. She absolutely is. And fair play for doing it for Toni Storm as well, because I think her stewardship of the interim title was genuinely tremendous. I think she enhanced the prestige of that division immeasurably.
Get well soon, Thunder Rosa. Right, we've been a little bit cheeky with this last story. We described it as a controversial ex-AEW star signing a deal with Impact Wrestling. Michael Sidgwick, why is this person so controversial?
Well, he is controversial because controversy is a completely toxic sort of debate in the public sphere, okay? And that is exactly what Alan Angel sparked in April 2020. More than one, not just the one you're thinking of, more than one known wrestling media type could not sanction the idea of Kenny Omega working this incredibly long, epic, dramatic 6-minute TV match with Alan Angels in QT Marshall's gym in April 2020 when, in fact, they were operating with 29% of their roster as a total skeleton crew because the vast majority of them were staying at home because stay-at-home orders have been issued. And sadly, Kenny Omega's glittering career was brought to just an abrupt and bleak halt. And he never again broke the AEW pay-per-view record. He never again concluded one of the best storylines in the 21st century by coronating Hangman Page and passing over the title to him. Never again, was a belt collector. Never again ushered in the Forbidden Door relationship with his idea for collaboration that he has had in his mind since January 2017 as he revealed to Chris Jericho on Talk is Jericho. That was his dream. He fulfilled it. As an indirect consequence of that, he gave us the Forbidden Door pay-per-view, which everyone just lost their minds over because it was so goddamn great. What really annoyed me at the time, sorry, I'm in full-blown rant mode at this point. I'm in full-blown rant mode at this point. Do you think that Kenny Omega versus Alan Angels in a 6-minute match on Dynamite would have happened had the pandemic not been going on.
I love Iron Angels, and I'm very happy.
He's very talented.
But no.
It just wouldn't have happened. It absolutely would not have happened. And ultimately, like, with pandemic wrestling, the whole idea was this can only work. It doesn't. Fundamentally, it doesn't work. They are posing in front of no one. Yeah. The baby faces are asking no one to appeal for help to drive them through their matches. It was kind of ridiculous, but we needed it. Yeah. It was all we had. So we extended a lot of latitude towards it. So I don't understand why people were nitpicking. And this is coming from me, of all people. I do not understand why people were nitpicking about this at the time. And look, it's such a shame because I've spent 2 minutes ranting about dickheads when ultimately Alan Angels has done the best thing for his career. Yep. He should be praised for being bold and brave about it. If you don't know, he himself elected not to renew his AEW contract earlier this year because he saw the lay of the land. Mm-hmm. He knew that he was not going to get a shot. Talented as he is, promising as he is, he was so many tiers below that incredibly bloated, very greedy roster in AEW, and he thought, you know what, I have to do. I didn't get the chance to do it because I kind of came of age in the pandemic era where there were no indies or like only the wrong indies that were running at that time. So he's going to supplement his experience. He is going to come back one day to AEW or WWE or New Japan or like a major with some buzz, some cachet, some experience, and fair play for the bold decision. And this new development suggests that he's on his way to doing so.
Yeah, absolutely. He's backed himself. He went over and started working in Impact Wrestling. He had some great matches with the likes of Speedball Mike Bailey and Trey Miguel in July and October. And as a result of that, the man now going by the name Angels has signed a permanent deal with him to Impact Wrestling. He revealed as much in an interview with Paltrowcast. Best of luck to him. Like you say, he was someone who was clearly talented, but it was never going to go further than the occasional appearance on a Dynamite and a Rampage, but very much a sort of peripheral figure and maybe a bit of a run on Dark or Dark.
Showed a lot of personality on BTE as part of that old dynamic with the Dark Order. So he's got more than just this sort of like really good and promising in-ring ability. So all power to him, good luck.
Yeah, if you get the chance to go and watch those matches with Miguel and Bailey, because they're two great wrestlers.
You should just watch it. I know, but in particular, you just need to watch more Speedball Mike Bailey matches in general. Guy rules me.
Right, let's move on to your questions taken today. So it's Friday, it's Wacky Friday. So I asked the YouTube community, WhatCulture Wrestling, if you're not subscribed, if you go there, subscribe, you'll see that and you can contribute. I asked them for their Wacky Friday questions, but I did ask this sort of last night, Sige, in the midst of Thanksgiving, of course. With the time difference over in the States. So they're quite Thanksgiving themed. First question today comes from Hazy Baby.
Don't ever say that again.
Horrible that. Who writes, what Thanksgiving dish would each WhatCulture office member be and why? Now, I'm not going to make you try and think of Thanksgiving dishes.
I know they have turkey.
Yeah. I suppose Miller's the turkey, isn't he? He's the central thing that we put everything round.
Yeah, he's the...
Show up.
Your words, not mine.
I'll throw some other dishes at you. Mashed potatoes.
Mashed potatoes. They are not as good as roast potatoes.
Okay.
But better than boiled potatoes, which are Hamflet, by the way. I'm a dickhead with a bit of an ego. I would like to stick myself the roast tatties, so Murray can be the mash because he's got better taste, right?
Okay.
Than Hamflet. Not saying he's a better content producer at all. But he's got more taste, I think. My tastes are more aligned with his.
Who's the mac and cheese?
Phil's a vegetarian, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
And he needs... It's not very stodgy, though, is he? Not stodgy fella. He's rake thin. Bit worried about him. Like his mother. Who's mac and cheese? I haven't had. Cleary.
Okay. Cranberry sauce?
Cranberry sauce is, to my understanding, an incredibly sweet thing that can get very, very cloying, and realistically, you only want to enjoy it once a year, so it's you.
Oh, I was really hoping I was going to get the candied yams.
What are candied yams?
I think it's like sweet potatoes, a bit like that. Maybe that's a sweet potato pie.
Murray really enjoys bantering people off. People might not know this. He's like a stampede wrestler in terms of how he treats people in the office. I'm kidding. That's a wild exaggeration, okay? But He hates sweet potatoes, so I'm just going to pretend that he's a sweet potato. Kind of looks like one.
Gareth Morgan cornbread.
Why not?
Okay. Right, let's move on. Joaquin or Joaquin, I assume it's Joaquin from my experience with Spanish football.
Yes.
Joaquin Johnson writes...
Actors.
Yeah. What's good, y'all? It's been Thanksgiving and all. Got me thinking, who would you have over for your dinner between all the wrestling promotions? You can pick up the 5. So who are we having? We'll host one together, our Thanksgiving dinner. Who are the 5 wrestlers we're inviting over? They don't have to necessarily bring a bowl, bring a dish. I feel like MJF would be invited to our Thanksgiving dinner. He's always invited to mine. He must have not forgotten his invite for mine. Start talking to you, love. Right.
MJF, just because even if the heel promo is cut at my expense, it will be phenomenally entertaining.
Yeah, people have rows over Thanksgiving, don't they? So
yeah.
Sammy, I feel like Sammy I love Sami Zayn.
I thought you were going to say Guevara then. I was like, he's good in the ring, but I don't know if I want to spend any time with him. Great in the ring. We've already got one heel quarter. That's the only reason.
Yeah.
Let me pick one.
Okay.
Bryan Danielson, I can imagine, is a very stimulating and very weirdly funny conversationalist, and he's one of my favourite wrestlers of all time. So definitely, I flew to New Orleans to watch your coronation. Danielson, definitely.
I'm gonna pick Nyla Rose because I feel like she's good value, and she'd be good at some party games we play after dinner.
Yeah, she's banter, very fun.
Yeah.
Nyla Rose, definitely, she can come along.
Any other wrestlers you want? WWE. Who from WWE would you like to come to your Thanksgiving dinner?
I've already got Sami Zayn. Don't need another one from there. Kevin Owens is a really funny bloke, and they could be the entertainment.
Yeah.
If they could have some bit of cross banter, then they could maybe fall out because that's what they tend to do.
Siblings.
It isn't a holiday without any incredibly petty familial drama, so that quota has been filled.
So Owen Sane, Nyla Rose, MJF, Bryan Danielson. It's not bad Thanksgiving dinner.
That is not a bad Thanksgiving dinner at all, but go out of 6 and have Big E there.
Yeah.
Big E. Just what a nice fella. You can diffuse any situation. You don't want to ruin your day. There's nothing worse than when there's a bad atmosphere in a place.
Yeah.
And you just kind of have to work or live through it. So I think Big E would diffuse the situations.
Maybe Stu Bennett as well, because I feel like he could bring the British side of American traditions to it. And hey,
he could join in on our America voices.
Yes, exactly. And hey, if Dominik Mysterio and Mammy want to crash our Thanksgiving dinner, I'd be absolutely fine with that. Kevin Flores, ironically, gives us our final question of the day, writing, who was your first wrestling crush?
Oh, I don't want to be horny on Maine, so I'm not going to be because, I was 7 years old. I was 7, 8 years old. First got SummerSlam 1989, WrestleMania 6, and WrestleMania 7. Those were the 3 VHS tapes that I just completely almost busted because I just watched them so much over and over and over and over and over again, right? Bear in mind, you might think I'm an idiot now, and I don't care, right? I was an idiot then because I'm 7, 8 years old. The way that she presented her own character, the way that the WWF at the time presented this character, I considered Miss Elizabeth nothing less than royalty. I genuinely thought she was the Queen of America. She was so innocent, pure, so sort of regal, just so nice, so elegant. So wholesome, so innocent that I thought she's royalty. What an underrated performer she was. One of the all-time greats. We should do more content celebrating non-wrestlers now. They all sort of make up the wonderful storytelling and drama and theatre. And Miss Elizabeth cast a spell on me as a young child. I loved her, and I thought she was honestly the Queen of America.
That's lovely, that is. I am going to be horny on Maine. Tori Wilson back in the day for me. Oh my god. Anyway, should we move on to today's...
Do you like her legs?
Finally, because today, Michael Sidgwick, it is the United States of America playing England in the big soccer game. And I didn't want to be completely biased, despite the fact I'm wearing my Gareth Southgate jumper that says Christmas is coming home on the back.
Christmas is.
So,
not sure about football.
Enjoy the game today. If you're a neutral, if you're English,
or you're a Yank,
if you're an American, if you're there hey buddy, I think your Harold Kane's gonna score past Casey Keller. I think Landon Donovan's gonna score a 12-yard PK and get us the victory. Hope he doesn't go into OT. But
good luck, Saka, because Alexi Lalas is gonna clear all those balls.
Saka's gonna get sacked. That's the thing, isn't it?
Did you see the best the best tweet I've seen connected with the World Cup this year, right?
Go on.
Was the Yank fans are chanting "You suck" at the referee like he's Kurt Angle, Elmo. You suck! You suck! You suck!
Enjoy the World Cup today. Hey, might be your last game, innit? So, best of luck to England today for that, and to America.
VAR! VAR!
Let's go.
That's what they chant when they're being deprived of a PK.
Yeah.
They go VAR.
And if they're in trouble, do you know who they bring on? Brian McBride. You still a thing, isn't he?
No.
Okay. Right, well, enjoy the World Cup today. Let us know your thoughts on everything we've discussed in the comments section below. Like, share, subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling, wherever you get your podcasts from. For daily wrestling podcasts, we're going to preview SmackDown and we're going to preview Rampage, and we've got Wrestle Culture with hashtag Bloody Good Quiz coming your way a little bit later on today as well. Thoughts, Twitter questions, all that good stuff on Twitter at WhatCultureWWE. Watch there, you can follow both of us. You can follow Michael Sidgwick at
M. Sidgwick.
You can follow me at Adam Wilborn. Follow us all at WhatCulture WWE, as I said. But for now, my thanks to Michael Sidgwick. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you soon.